Hold up.
Everyone. Welcome to a new episode of LinkedTalk. Today's topic is all about entrepreneurship. I have read recently a topic that triggered this discussion of today, that every professional person having a dream inside to establish an entrepreneurship or to have their own business. But also the study concluded that not everyone is entitled to have their entrepreneurship or business because not everyone will succeed. So to explore this topic more, I'm pleased to be joined with Safaa Nhairy, a university lecturer, trainer, also founder and entrepreneur who has taken the time today to join me and share her expertise and opinion. Hi, Safaa.
Hi, Osama. Thanks for having me today.
The pleasure is mine. How are you today, by the way?
Good, good, good. In complete lockdown, but good.
That's perfect. Uh, you know the topic of today, Safaa. Uh, so from being an expert and lecturer in university that teach business students about business and entrepreneurship extra, what is entrepreneurship if you would like to give us a definition, and what are the types of entrepreneurships?
Okay. Well, first of all, we need to understand that every one of us is an entrepreneur. Like, even if you're not working for yourself, you're enterprising. So, entrepreneurship is the actual completion of an idea. It's taking an idea and making it to an action, making it concrete. Okay, so that's something that we do on a daily basis, whether we are entrepreneurs or not. But being an entrepreneur is something like much bigger. It's really going from nothing, from a white blank piece of paper to actually a profitable business. So that's what really entrepreneurship is. But behind it, there is so much work, so much processes, systems, mindset to be in place to actually get to that result.
Perfect. I've been reading recently that there are different type of entrepreneurship, like serial entrepreneurship, copycat entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. Um, is there a small brief that you can give us about this different type of entrepreneurship so everyone can understand, even if they decide to go for entrepreneurship, where to head to?
Sure. I mean, I could definitely give you some hints, but really entrepreneurship is really coming from you as an entrepreneur and what you want to make happen in this world. For example, it happens that all the businesses that I create are small businesses, and I am called like a small business entrepreneur. But you could also be like a large business entrepreneur, and that means you're all only launching big businesses that are super scalable, that can make you millions of dollars, etc. That's another type of entrepreneurship. You could also be a social entrepreneur, which I really love. This is something that we should all be looking toward to, because it's something that will help millions of people. So social entrepreneurship is when you start a business around a social cause. For example, if you sell carpets, or if you sell, I don't know, computer appliances, you use, for example, single mothers to help you build your business. So that's a social business, because you're using a very disadvantaged um, population to help you with your business, to help you grow the business, or to help you make the product, or to help you sell the product within your business, so it has a social cause. I'm really in favor of social entrepreneurship, because I think there's so many people around the world that need help, that entrepreneurs could use to grow and build their businesses.
I see. Um, there's been a lot of talk if you search entrepreneurship in YouTube or podcasts or even articles, that many individuals or experts urge individuals who are professionals, for example, working for businesses, if they are not happy with job, to go straight away founding their business to be their own boss. So if we talk about what are the reasons which are related to a person that can be the drive to have your own entrepreneurship, what are the right reasons and what are what we can say a wrong reason? So to differentiate between the two.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting question. You know, I teach entrepreneurship to university students, and usually that's during their last year of university, so they're fourth year students, and they have to take this course. It's mandatory. And I tell them that by the end of the course, they may realize that entrepreneurship is not for them, because entrepreneurship is not for everyone. And but going through it will actually help you discover and explore whether it's for you or it's not for you. But generally, like the number one reason people go for entrepreneurship is because they want to be their own boss.
Yeah.
They're tired of being bossed by other people, and they want to have that time flexibility or freedom of their time to be able to go to work whenever they want, or actually work whenever they want, or travel whenever they want, to have that freedom. Whereas when you're an employee, you're really bound by the rules of the company. And then there's also the reason of money, because starting a business actually gives the impression to people that they're going to make much more money, which could be true, but again, it depends on the business and how scalable it is.
Perfect. Many of us are subject to survivorship bias, which is we always see the top of the iceberg. We see entrepreneurs who succeeded, who established entrepreneurship, and it became large businesses. For example, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and there are many other people that you can see, and we may wonder why it's not me. So people take that as an example to start, but they don't say that there are millions of people who failed in their entrepreneurship journey. So, from your point of view, what are the reasons for startups or entrepreneurships to fail or succeed?
Oh, well, I mean, there's a number of reasons that could actually contribute to the failure of a business. Some reasons are things that we can control, and some other things are reasons that we can't control. For example, right now we're amid the COVID-19 crisis. It's something most businesses cannot control. No matter how good your cash flow is, or how the market is, or how wonderful your product is, it's not the right time right now. People are panicking, they're not buying. I'm not talking about like basic needs like supermarket food and things like that, but usually people are in this panic mode at the moment. They're not traveling, they're not spending money, they're not shopping around. So this isn't something that businesses and entrepreneurs can control. It's not. So, as I said, are reasons that we can control, other reasons that we cannot control. But things that we can control is really the cash flow. A lot of times when you see a company that is doing poorly or even going bankrupt, that's because of cash flow.
Mm.
There is a problem in the cash flow. They can't pay their employees, they can't pay their suppliers, they can't pay their rent. There is a money issue. And really, business is having the cash flow. If you don't have cash flow, there is no business. And so it takes really a lot of planning and anticipation and forecasting to be able to know like how much money you're going to have down the road, like in 6 times down the road, or 12 months down the road. Like how much money are you going to have? Are you going to have enough to be able to survive? But I think cash flow is one of the biggest reasons companies shut down and fail. I think another big reason is really the team. If you don't have the right people in your business, it's easy to screw up. Like if you're surrounded by the wrong people that don't care about the
Mhm.
business, or they don't give their best to their business, or they're not really qualified to do the work you're giving them, then obviously you cannot really take off. And at some point, if you don't act fast and really hire the right team members, the business can just shut down. Because one thing that we all need to understand, it's good because we talk about Steve Jobs and all these
Bezos,
successful
yeah.
people, but it's super important to understand that these people were well surrounded. Like they had big brains behind them. They were not alone. There wasn't just Steve Jobs and his customers. There was Steve Jobs and his entire expert team with like big brains that was helping him actually put the product out and sell the product. He wasn't marketing the product himself. Like it was like a marketing campaign done by the right people, these experts, etc. So we need to think the same way. We need to have that same sort of thinking that if you want to have the right business that will be profitable on the long run, you should surround yourself with the right people, the people who have the brains, and sometimes people, I mean, not sometimes, but it's best to have people who are smarter than you because they will be contributing to your business rather than just absorbing, because you need to be with the people that will help you push forward the business.
Perfect. Since you have mentioned the cash flow for entrepreneurs, I know it's always difficult to get the fund. And what about the fundraising? When is the time to kick off a fundraiser or to get the resources? From your point of view, when is the time after establishing the startup or the entrepreneurship, or before, or after a couple of years? When it's really the time to do the fundraising?
Yeah. So there isn't like a specific answer to this question because you can be funded as a pre-seed business or as a seed business. It really depends on the maturity of your idea
Mm-hmm.
and really your drive, but also your contacts and your network. There are a lot of companies out there that you can reach out to that help you get the funding. But
Mm-hmm.
are you personally mentally prepared for that? Because it's almost like a full-time job. Like there's a lot of writing to be done. The business plan should be finalized. You should have like a clear idea on how you're going to be making the money, etc. So you could go seek for funding in the pre-seed phase. uh, it's more difficult. It's yeah, you will have less chances to get people sign up for your business, or you can wait until you have your business proven. So
Mm-hmm.
when you do like a proof of concept, for example, this is an example, you want to launch a marketplace. Okay, so the idea is clear, you know who you want to sell the products to, you know who you're going to buy the products from. So set up this marketplace online. Okay, so just have all your products there, and then the vendors with the clients, match them together. When your concept is proven, meaning you're starting to make money, there are transactions being made, then you can go seek for like a bigger funding to help you in the next step. So again, it really depends on where you are in your life, your contacts, the resources you have, how much time you have, if you're really in a hurry, because sometimes an idea, you should really act on it really fast. And those pre-seed fundraising kind of thing, it may take longer. So these are, I mean, there's a number of
Mm.
factors to
To
take into
consider.
account before you decide which. But we were talking about crowdfunding
Yeah.
earlier. That's another possibility. Now, just in a click, you can actually launch a crowdfunding campaign and then set the amount you want on that platform, and then reach out to your friends and family to help you, uh, get the funding you need to start your business. So this can be done like in a flash of an eye. I mean, the flash of an eye,
Mm.
the actual page, but the crowdfunding campaign can take up to like 60 days. But it's really worth it. Like if you want everyone to be involved in your business and have the first cash and the first funding to start the business, I recommend crowdfunding.
Perfect. Talking about the failures, many entrepreneurs they face the issue. They don't know when to stop. If they fail first time or second time, they don't know when to stop. So, for example, if I'm an entrepreneur who faced a failure, for example, the project didn't go well or the product didn't go well, but still I have some ideas and still a little bit of cash. So, when to say it's time to just give up, or when it's time to continue to push in order to succeed, because not success doesn't come at the first shot. You may face failure or second failure, third failure, but at the end you will end up succeeding and achieving your goal. So what are the aspects or factors to consider when you are facing failure, and how to assess it, whether it's time to give up or it's time to push harder to achieve your goal?
Okay. But here it depends again on the personality of the entrepreneur. Some entrepreneurs start their first venture, they fail at it, and then they're like, okay, I'm done, I've tried it, it's not for me. So they move on.
Mhm.
um, because they realized that's not for them. They could probably have tried a second or third time, but the appetite for entrepreneurship was not there. Some other people, they keep on failing, but they keep on continuing. So again, it depends on the type of personality that you are. If you just quit and you realize it's not for you, then okay, you quit. Or sometimes you run out of money, like you you gave everything and all the efforts and time and money to your business. You don't have any more resources. You are sort of forced to go in back to the workforce and work for somebody else because you have a family to support, because you have mortgage to pay. You don't have that luxury to keep on looking for other funding. But even though if you do that, you can still come back to entrepreneurship a few years after if you
Mhm.
have again that appetite for entrepreneurship. So it varies from each one of us. Each one of us is different. Each one of us has different conditions and the situation. But I think one should really listen to him or herself. Like, what is your heart telling you? Are you doing? Are you in the world of entrepreneurship just for the money? Or are you in the world of entrepreneurship because you feel you have something really valuable that you want to share with the world? So what is that drive? What is your vision? What is your mission? Why are you doing what you're doing? And I think that's what actually keeps people, you know, waking up in the morning, and even though they're failing, keep on going because they have that drive and they know what they're here for and what legacy they want to leave the world with. Okay? But again, I mean, the world needs entrepreneurs, leaders, but also the world needs followers. Like we can't all be
To be
entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs. Sure.
It's not how it works, you know. So some people need to be entrepreneurs because they have not only the ideas, but the potential, but the drive and the desire to fail and the willingness to risk everything. This is something really important, is that when you're an entrepreneur, you risk. You risk a lot of things and you have to be willing to go for those risks. And that's the difference between how people fail and how people succeed.
Thank you, Safa. Last question for you. What is your advice to any person who wants to be an entrepreneur? I know that you have covered many points in previous answers, but if you would like to give an advice to a person who has a dream inside, or a plan or a goal, which is a short-term goal to establish entrepreneurship, what would be your advice to him or her or them?
The first thing I would say is really to make sure there is a need or want for the product or service that they're offering. Because a lot of times we do things out of a whim because it's a nice thing to have or a nice thing to do. But in reality, the market doesn't follow. And I've been experiencing this myself because as a creative person, I create a lot of things, but there is no demand for it in the market. So you need to make sure whatever you're doing, there is a demand for it in the market, there is a need for it in the market, or people are willing to pay for it. So that's the first thing before you even invest in any sorts of project. Make sure the idea is actually something that people want pay to pay for. The second thing that I would say is really, really important is to really surround yourself with people that will help you. If you're trying to do it all by yourself, you can succeed, but you will stay small.
Mhm.
If you want to go big and really have like a scalable business and profitable business on the long run, you have to be surrounded by people. They could be like investors, they
Mhm.
could be like partners in your business. But if you go it alone, it will stay very small and sizable. But if this is what you want as a small business, then it's fine. But if you want to go for something much bigger that have much bigger impact, then I highly recommend people to get other people involved in their business before they launch.
Thank you so much, Safa. It was a pleasure having you here in our podcast, and you have shared a lot of informative information that will be of help and use to many individuals who have the dream of starting entrepreneurship. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sama, for having me, and stay in touch.
Thank you.
Hold up.